What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new SkillCapped video. In this one, we're set to update you on the 3 best solo carry champions for each role in 11.17. Each pick is one in which our analysts believe to hold the greatest potential to impact games on their own for the current meta. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description for a special discount. So with that being said, let's jump right in. As Divine Sunderer top laners get hit for 11.17, Gore Drinker users become indirectly stronger and Fiora makes her way into the top 3. It's not just Divine users becoming weaker either though, as Fiora gets a nice indirect boost from the Hullbreaker buff. Irelia is nerfed too, which is one of Fiora's most common matchups, so everything is trending in her favor. As a third item, Hullbreaker is very underrated for Fiora, so you'll want to be picking it up in most situations now for 11.17. The split push power with an item path of Gore Drinker into Ravenous Hydra and Hullbreaker is super nasty. You've got amazing sustain from Gore and Ravenous to take aggressive trades and then heal up from a minion wave. Once you force the enemy out of lane, you've got free reign on their tower and can absolutely melt away due to Hullbreaker. Your rune page will be Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. For secondaries, grab Bone Plating and Unflinching. It's been a couple of months of Set dominating the top lane meta, so take advantage while you can, as we don't expect it to last much longer. Set will continue to rise in power even further for 11.17 as other top laners around him become weaker from the Divine nerf. With any sort of early game advantage, it's really easy to extend that lead and take over the game with Set. Set's kit doesn't take a ton of time to get used to, but once you really know how to pilot him, he's extremely rewarding. The 1v2 outplays you can pull off on Gore Drinker completion give you relentless side lane pressure. Thanks to the Gore Drinker passive, the lower health you are, the more bonus AD you'll gain. This ties in so well with how you want to use Set's W and gives him an insane amount of burst potential with the spell. Core build is Gore Drinker into Sterix and Titanic Hydra. The build is just so disgusting as the health stack synergizes perfectly with the Titanic Hydra passive. Rune Page is Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Dip into Resolve for secondaries, running Second Wind and Revitalize. Although Camille is a big Divine Sunderer user, she won't be going anywhere because of the nerf. Trinity Force is just as strong and extremely undervalued right now, which will keep Camille in our top 3 as a great hard carry. Unless Riot does something about the Ignite TP strategy, Camille will continue to be a high priority pick. The long-range gap close from E gives Camille the luxury of running Ignite, which is so influential for solo queue. You've got solid early kill threat, scale into the mid-game better than most top laners, and have a 4-second cooldown Cho'Gath ultimate to melt everyone in sight at 3 items. As we mentioned for Fiora, definitely look into grabbing Hullbreaker third now when you're planning to split. Lean the way of Trinity instead of Divine in games where the enemy comp won't be stacking much health. Sample core build is Divine or Trinity Rush into Ravenous Hydra second and Sterix or Hullbreaker third. For the rune page, pick up Grasp of the Undying with Shield Bash, Bone Plating, and Unflinching. Freeboots and Biscuits are the most optimal secondaries. The jungle meta has seen a solid shift over the past patch, and Jarvan has come out on top. 2 very impactful direct buffs from 11.16 have propelled Jarvan up into our top 3 for the first time in Season 11. Not only was Jarvan buffed, but strong meta picks like Xin Zhao, Kayn, and Lee Sin have all been directly nerfed. If there's ever a time to add Jarvan to your champion pool, right now is when you should do so. Early game impact is some of the best for any jungler, as your gank paths can be super unique. Level 2 ganks will catch your opponent off guard more often than not and lead to you tilting the enemy before their lane even starts. The pick potential from an EQ combo followed by ult is exactly what you want in a solo queue jungler. Being able to pull the trigger and catch enemies out when they're mispositioned will lead to so many free objectives. Jarvan's core build is Gore Drinker into Sterix second and Guardian Angel third. You'll opt for Conqueror as the keystone with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Best secondary page is Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight. Another jungler who's on the rise and rolling his way back into the top 3 is Nunu. Just like Jarvan, a few direct buffs were all Nunu needed to become a top-tier solo queue option. The spam gank playstyle is so frustrating to play against, yet it works extremely well and forces the enemy laners to play more reserved. If they don't respect you, it's just a rinse and repeat process of snowballing around the map and forcing countless FF15s. The objective control from Q Smite combo makes securing early dragons really easy. Nunu is one of the best junglers at transitioning an early lead into multiple dragons and eventually a soul win condition. Get your lanes ahead and then focus on controlling objectives, and you'll be winning a ton with Nunu for 11.17. Sample core build is Sunfire Rush into Deadman's Plate 2nd and Thornton Mail 3rd. Phase Rush is the best keystone with Nimbus Cloak, Celerity, and Water Walking. Roll with Triumph and Tenacity for secondaries. Our third solo carry jungle pick is the best assassin you can play for 11.17, being Kha'Zix. We've seen Ka become indirectly stronger over the past couple patches due to meta junglers being nerfed. Even though Serpent's Fang becomes weaker this patch, the Ghostblade buffs are looking super spicy and will replace Serpent's Fang in scenarios where the enemy comp lacks shielding. The stealth factor, point-and-click one-shot, and strong mobility make Kha'Zix a nightmare to deal with when ahead. There are few junglers who can roll with a lead and snowball the game out of control as well as Kha'Zix. Versatility is the name of the game right now, as we love the fact you can adapt playstyles based on the enemy composition. Against squishies, rush a Duskblade into Ghostblade and Edge of Night. When versus a couple bruisers or tanks, then opt for Gore Drinker into Cleaver and Death's Dance. Your runes for Assassin Ka are very preference-based, as Dark Harvest and Electro each have a place. Conqueror is what you'll pick up when playing the Bruiser Ka build. It's finally time for Qiyana to make her way back into the mid lane meta as one of the best solo queue assassins. With Zed nerfed in 11.17, it opens things up for Qiyana to rise in priority and begin wreaking havoc. Another major factor that pushes Qiyana into our top 3 is the Ghostblade buffs. We mentioned in our Korean builds video that a setup of Prowler's Claw into Ghostblade will offer such insane pick potential. You've got the out of combat move speed from Ghostblade to roam around the map at an insane rate, while Prowlers and Ghostblade actives allow you to close the gap on your target super quickly. If you gain an early advantage, your one-shot power is disgustingly strong as long as you're able to reach your target, which those items enable. Of course, Serpents is nerfed, but we don't see it being much of an issue, as Ghostblade will more than make up for the change. Sample core build is Prowler's Claw into Ghostblade 2nd and Cyrilda's Grudge 3rd. Rune-wise, grab Electrocute with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Presence of Mind and Last Stand work best for secondaries. Another amazing roaming mid laner who has tremendous snowball potential is our second mid lane feature, being Talon. With Uxin directly nerfed, along with Zed and Aurelia dropping down, there's no better time to add Talon to your champion pool. As first Blood King with the ability to transition a lead better than the majority of mid laners, Talon is an extremely powerful pick to learn. Very much like Kha'Zix, Talon is a jack of all trades with how unique his builds can be depending on each game. Full-on Assassin Talon will be great in 11.17 with a Prowlers and Ghostblade build. A heavier skirmish style of Gore Drinker into Cleaver and Sterix can work just as well into tankier enemy comps. With Gore, Cleaver, and Lucidity Boots, the haste stack puts your abilities on very short cooldowns, making you much more of a consistent threat. For Assassin Talon, you'll run Electrocute as the keystone with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collector, and Relentless Hunter. Secondaries are Nimbus and Absolute Focus. Grab Conqueror for Bruiser Talon, followed by Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Secondaries are Eyeball Collector and Ravenous Hunter. And the third solo carry mid laner for 11.17 is the Sinister Blade. Surprisingly, Katarina comes away from this patch unscathed, while many other mids were hit with nerfs. Kat has been a staple in our mid lane top 3 for a while now, and that doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. Katarina's a perfect pick for the solo queue environment, as she has great snowball power, amazing skirmish, insane cleanup potential, and with teleport can influence the map very well. Nashers has become the staple rush item for Kat, while Riftmaker or Rocket Belt are great second item options. For more single target burst, grab Rocket Belt, and if you want better extended fight power, then Riftmaker is the best bet. Zhonya's will almost always slot in as your third purchase. Conqueror is the most popular keystone amongst Katarina mains right now, however, Electro can work too if you prefer stronger upfront burst. It's a great time to be a Jhin main. Direct buffs from last patch combined with Kog'Maw and Ashe dropping down in 11.17 have propelled Jhin up into a top 3 solo carry spot. Everything's looking so good for Jhin right now, as his favorite duo lanes like Xerath, Leona, Blitz, and Zyra are all being played at high rates. Pair Jhin with any CC support and the kill pressure you have, especially at level 6, is massive. Buffs from last patch make his all-in power and ability to finish off kills even better now too. Your core build will be Gale Force into the Collector and Rapid Fire Cannon. A Serpent's Fang Rush was seeing more play over in Korea last patch, but after the nerfs, we'd recommend you stick with the crit build. Let's not forget the Fleet Footwork buffs are another factor pushing Jhin up in power. We expect Dark Harvest and Fleet to coincide as viable options, so you can choose between them based on whether you want more damage or stronger sustain and kiting power. It's quite the bot lane meta we have going on right now, as Ziggs is taken over as the #1 pick for 11.17. Wits End nerfs are indirect buffs to Ziggs, as players will prioritize the item less and in turn allow Ziggs to deal more damage. Ashe, who's had a very high play rate as of recent and one of the biggest Wits End abusers, should see less play now, which is great for Ziggs. The poke power from Q and burst potential when paired with hard CC supports gives you lots of kill potential in lane. When you hit level 6 and have lost chapter completed, you can spam out abilities for poke and then strike once you have the opponent in lethal. One of the major upsides to playing Ziggs bot is his tower taking abilities. Once bot lane drops, you rotate around the map, clean up all the outer towers, and amass a huge gold lead. Ziggs' core build is Liandry's Rush into Demonic Embrace 2nd and Zhonya's 3rd. For runes, there's nothing better than Comet combined with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Secondaries are Free Boots and Biscuits. The third marksman who will offer great solo carry potential this patch is Vayne. Vayne benefits from many changes we've seen in the bot lane meta. Jhin rising up is actually great for Vayne, as she fares extremely well in the matchup. There are multiple strong enchanter supports in meta now, with Sona buffed last patch and Nami receiving some for 11.17. Those two, along with Karma, Yuumi, and Lulu, are so deadly when paired up with Vayne, as your scaling power just goes through the roof. Leona dropping down due to her nerf is great for Vayne too. Less Ashe in meta is a bonus, as the matchup can give Vayne some difficulties early on. Kraken and Shield Bow each have their place as a rush item depending on the situation. Grab Shield Bow to fend off heavy assassin comps, and Kraken if you're against more tanks or bruisers. Follow with Phantom Dancer 2nd and Rageblade 3rd. Take Press the Attack as the keystone with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Optimal secondaries are Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. A new addition to our top 3 for support in 11.17 will be Nami, as she benefits from a couple solid buffs. Extra health for stronger early laning and reduced mana on W at max rank will push Nami up as one of the best enchanter supports. Nami W is such a valuable spell, so being able to spam it out more often in mid-game teamfights will feel really nice. An interesting duo lane to watch out for this patch is Lucian with Nami. New Lucian passive will have great synergy with Nami, and it's always been a very strong, oppressive early game combo. Nami also loves playing with marksmen who have crowd control to increase hit rate on bubble, so Jhin and Ashe in meta is perfect. Core build for Nami is Imperial Mandate Rush into Chemtech Putrefier 2nd and Ardent Censer 3rd. Run Airy with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch for primary runes. Biscuit and Cosmic Insight are great for secondaries. For the second patch in a row, Blitzcrank will take home a top 3 slot, as he's a highly effective pick thanks to his buffs. Leona's Fallen Power will even further solidify Blitz as the best aggro support in the current meta. Blitz early kill threat is super nasty, and with just one kill can run away with the game on his own. Even if you miss the majority of your hooks, all it takes is that one clutch snag in a prime situation, and you've suddenly turned the game in your favor. After you feast on the enemy bot lane, make your way around the map and get your solo lane snowballing too. A Blitz charging in with Mobies and W active is so difficult for the enemy to outplay. You stroll right up, bonk him with E, and then land a guaranteed Q for the kill. To take your playmaking potential to another level, look into rushing Shirelias. Locket is viable too if you want more defensive power, but we would side with Shirelias in most situations. Second item is Zeke's Convergence into Knight's Vow 3rd. Run Guardian as the keystone with Font of Life, Bone Plating, and Unflinching. Biscuits and Cosmic Insight are optimal secondaries. And taking home the final support spot for 11.17 is another massive riser from last patch, being Sona. Riot's come out and stated they'll very likely look into nerfing Sona for 11.18, so take advantage while you can. Hands down, Sona's scaling power is unmatched right now. All the haste stack from her new passive allows you to spam abilities out relentlessly in teamfights. You really can't go wrong with point-and-click heals, and speed boosts as the utility they provide are so impactful. For an enchanter support, the playmaking potential Sona possesses is a huge factor that puts her above many others. Multi-man ultimate plays or that flash ult play on a priority target can solo win games. Moonstone and Shirelias are great mythic options based on preference. Putrefier 2nd and Staff of Flowing Water 3rd are very solid core pickups. Airy is Sona's best keystone with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Gathering Storm. You can grab Resolve Secondary for more laning power or precision if you want maximum scaling. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week. With over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses, no one can compare. We've also sent Challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it, guys, the 3 best solo carry picks for every single role. Good luck in 11.17, and we'll catch you in the next one.